The year is 1657, a year that would mark the beginning of a significant chapter in Indian history. A powerful new force is rising in the Indian subcontinent, the Maratha Empire. This burgeoning empire, with its roots deeply embedded in the soil of Maharashtra, was beginning to challenge the established powers of the time. At its heart is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, a visionary leader who dared to challenge the mighty Mughal Empire. His strategic acumen and unyielding spirit were the driving forces behind the Maratha resurgence. On May 14th, amidst this turmoil and ambition, a lion cub is born, Sambhaji. His birth was not just the arrival of a prince, but the dawn of a new era for the Maratha Empire. Sambhaji's birthplace, Purandar Fort, wasn't just a fortress, it was a symbol of Maratha resilience. Perched high on a hilltop, it stood as a sentinel over the land, embodying the spirit of defiance and strength. It was here, under the watchful eyes of warrior scholars, that young Sambhaji took his first steps. These scholars were not just teachers, they were the custodians of Maratha heritage, imparting knowledge and values to the young prince. His childhood was anything but ordinary. From a tender age, Sambhaji was exposed to the rigors of royal life, a life filled with both privilege and responsibility. He was trained in the art of warfare, diplomacy, and statecraft, groomed from a young age to lead. His education was comprehensive, covering everything from military tactics to the nuances of governance. His mother, Saibai, a woman of immense strength and wisdom, instilled in him a deep love for their homeland and culture. She was his first teacher, nurturing his mind and spirit with stories of valor and sacrifice. His father, Shivaji Maharaj, imparted the values of justice, courage, and unwavering resistance against tyranny. Shivaji's teachings were not just lessons. They were the foundation upon which Sambhaji's character was built. Sambhaji, however, was not just a reflection of his parents' aspirations. He was a unique individual with his own dreams and ambitions, shaped by the world around him. He was a keen observer, a quick learner, and possessed a sharp intellect that impressed all who knew him. His curiosity knew no bounds, and he was always eager to learn more about the world. He mastered several languages, delved into the intricacies of statecraft, and showed a natural aptitude for military strategy. His ability to grasp complex concepts and apply them practically was remarkable. By his teenage years, Sambhaji was no longer just the prince. He was emerging as a leader in his own right. His leadership qualities were evident to all, and he was beginning to carve out his own legacy within the Maratha Empire. The year is 1680. A year that would mark a significant turning point in the history of the Maratha Empire. Shivaji Maharaj, the legendary founder of the Maratha Empire, passes away. His death leaves a void that is felt deeply across the land. His death casts a shadow of uncertainty over the nascent empire. The people mourn, but their grief is tinged with fear for the future. The Mughals, still smarting from their defeats, see an opportunity to reclaim their lost dominion. They begin to mobilize their forces, eager to exploit the perceived weakness. The Deccan Sultanates, ever wary of Maratha power, prepare to pounce. They too see a chance to expand their influence at the expense of the Marathas. It is in this hour of crisis that Sambhaji Maharaj, at the young age of 23, ascends the throne. The weight of the crown is heavy, and the expectations even heavier. He inherits not just a kingdom but the immense responsibility of safeguarding his father's dream, a dream of a free and independent Maratha nation, a dream that now rests on his young shoulders. The coronation is swift, the ceremony practical. There is no time for grand celebrations or elaborate rituals. There is no time for elaborate rituals. The young king has a kingdom to protect. The threat of invasion looms large, and every moment is precious. The weight of expectations rests heavily on Sambhaji's shoulders. He knows that his every decision will be scrutinized, his every move watched. Many doubt his ability to fill his father's shoes. The courtiers and advisors, who once pledged loyalty to Shivaji, now look at Sambhaji with skepticism. But Sambhaji possesses the same fire, the same unwavering spirit that made Shivaji Maharaj a legend. He is determined to prove his worth. He quickly consolidates his power base, rallies his loyal Sardars, and prepares for the inevitable conflicts ahead. His leadership is put to the test almost immediately. He understands that the true test of his leadership lies not in inheriting a throne, but in defending it against enemies who smell blood and sense vulnerability. The fortifications are strengthened and strategies are devised. The stage is set for a titanic struggle. The Maratha warriors, inspired by their young king, prepare for the battles that lie ahead. The young king, thrust into the crucible of war and politics, will have to prove his mettle against relentless enemies and treacherous times. His resolve will be tested, and his courage will be the beacon for his people. The survival of the Maratha Empire, his father's legacy, hinges on his every decision. The future of a nation rests in the hands of a young king, ready to carve his own legacy. Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor, sees Shivaji's death as an opportunity to crush the Marathas once and for all. The death of the formidable Maratha leader Shivaji Maharaj has left a power vacuum, and Aurangzeb is determined to exploit this moment of vulnerability. He believes that without their charismatic leader, the Marathas will be easier to subdue. He unleashes the full might of the Mughal army, a vast force equipped with artillery and elephants, upon the Deccan. The Mughal war machine, renowned for its discipline and firepower, is mobilized with a single-minded focus. The sheer scale of the army is intimidating, with thousands of soldiers, war elephants, and state-of-the-art artillery pieces. The objective is clear: extinguish the flames of Maratha rebellion before they can grow any stronger. Aurangzeb's strategy is to strike hard and fast, to demoralize the Marathas and prevent any resurgence of their fighting spirit. The Mughal emperor is determined to stamp out any embers of resistance that might ignite into a full-blown rebellion. Sambhaji Maharaj faces an empire at his doorstep. As the son of Shivaji, he inherits not only the throne but also the immense responsibility of defending the Maratha realm. The young Chhatrapati is acutely aware of the formidable challenge that lies ahead. The Mughal army, led by experienced generals, lays siege to forts, plunders villages, and attempts to break the back of the Maratha resistance. These generals, seasoned in the art of war, employ ruthless tactics to weaken the Marathas. They aim to cut off supply lines, destroy morale, and force the Marathas into submission. Fort after fort falls to the relentless Mughal onslaught. The situation appears dire. The Maratha strongholds, once symbols of their indomitable spirit, are now crumbling under the pressure. Each fallen fort represents a significant blow to the Maratha defense. The very survival of the Maratha Empire hangs in the balance. The Marathas are pushed to their limits, facing an existential threat. The weight of the Mughal Empire's might threatens to tip the scales against them. But Sambhaji Maharaj is not one to surrender. He embodies the resilience and fighting spirit of his people. Despite the overwhelming odds, he remains steadfast in his resolve to defend his homeland. He understands that conventional warfare against a larger, better-equipped enemy is futile. Sambhaji knows that to stand a chance he must think outside the box. He must leverage the strengths of his smaller, more agile force. He adopts his father's strategy of guerrilla warfare: swift raids, strategic retreats, and exploiting the enemy's weaknesses. This approach allows the Marathas to strike where the Mughals least expect it, causing maximum damage with minimal resources. The element of surprise becomes their greatest weapon. Sambhaji leads from the front, inspiring his troops with his courage and tactical brilliance. His presence on the battlefield boosts the morale of his warriors. who fight with renewed vigor under his command. His leadership becomes a beacon of hope for the beleaguered Marathas. He utilizes the rugged terrain of the Deccan to his advantage, ambushing Mughal supply lines and harassing their flanks. The Deccan's challenging landscape, with its hills and dense forests, provides the perfect cover for guerrilla tactics. Sambhaji's forces become ghosts in the terrain, striking swiftly and disappearing before the Mughals can retaliate. The Marathas, masters of the terrain, become a constant thorn in the side of the Mughal war machine. Their intimate knowledge of the land gives them a significant edge, turning the Deccan into a formidable battleground. The Mughals, despite their numbers and firepower, find themselves in a protracted and grueling conflict, unable to secure a decisive victory.